Hey guys, Apocalypso here, back with another extreme AI um, matchup. Let me see if I can adjust this here. Uh, oh, okay, I don't know how this is going to sound, but hopefully it's clear. So this matchup is Conrad the Salian as the Teutons, and okay, let me uh, Theodore Svetoslav as the Bulgarians. So right, this map is Serengeti, which is a very open map. It has elephants and ostriches and goats, zebras. It's all very documentary like. I could picture David Attenborough saying something talking about this map. And so I'm going to explain the Teutons and Bulgarians bonuses and units and techs. So, for the Teutons, they're an infantry civilization, although they also have good cavalry and defenses. So they're more of a defensive civilization rather than an infantry one. Um, Monks have 2 times healing range. It's actually helpful because the monks can be farther away from your units and therefore farther away from the line of fire, especially for range units, and then they're safer, but they can still heal just as many units. Towers garrison 2 times units, so towers normally can garrison 5 units, but Teutons can do 10. So that's helpful because you can, when you tower rush, you can assign 10 villagers to a tower and have it up quicker, and then all of them will be able to garrison. Murder holes and herbal medicine are free. Murder holes makes towers have no minimum range, which is very helpful. Herbal medicine is a technology that makes units, garrisons, and buildings heal faster. I had to remember there. Hang on. Okay, so farms cost minus 40%. This is useful because they have, normally farms are, I think, 60 wood, but for the Teutons they're 40 wood, which is helpful because they have a better wood to food conversion, which produces more food overall. Well, actually, it produces just as much food, but you save more wood overall, and it's very helpful. Town center garrison plus 10, so have an extra 10 villagers can garrison, so I think it's 25. I seem to remember that's what it is. Normally it's 15, but with the Teutons it's 25. Barracks and stable units have plus 1 armor in the Castle Age, plus 1 armor in the Imperial Age for plus 2 total. Now, this was actually a bonus that was added in Definitive Edition, and I think it originally only applied to barracks units, but they're going to be, it's melee armor, not pierce armor, so it's against melee attacks, which is very helpful for battles. They're going to be able to survive a lot better. Then this this theme of having the units be strong in melee battles is continued in their unique unit and one of their unique techs. So Teutonic Knight, let me show you what it looks like here, if I can find it. Okay, yeah, you can sort of see it has this, it's like a caped crusader. I'm Batman, but so the Teutonic Knight, it says Teutonic unique infantry unit, slow and powerful, strong versus melee units, weak versus archers and scorpions. Archers and scorpions are the normal weaknesses of infantry, but it's accentuated even more in the Teutonic Knight because of how slow it is. But the Teutonic Knight, because of its high melee armor, it can win in a head-to-head fight against almost any melee unit. It can even win against cavalry, which is impressive because that's not normally something infantry can do. So their Castle Age unique tech is Ironclad, which increases the armor of all siege weapons, so they're more resistant to melee attack. Now this is actually helpful for rams, especially because they have -3 melee attack, which means regardless of how much damage a unit will do, if they do at least 0 melee attack, they will do 3 damage, at least, to a battering ram. And we'll see later on when the Chinese appear how that affects their unique unit. But with Ironclad, they have extra melee armor, so that doesn't work quite as well. And that applies to all siege weapons, but especially helps the battering ram because its main weakness is melee units because of its negative armor. Crenellations. Castles have +3 range. Garrison infantry fire arrows. Normally, infantry, when they're garrisoned in buildings, cannot fire arrows. But with crenellations researched, they can. So it's helpful, especially if you need Teutonic Knights that... If you have Teutonic Knights that need protecting, that'll be helpful because they'll contribute to defense. But +3 range is also very helpful. So, I forgot the team bonus for the Teutons is that units resist conversion. Now, this is especially helpful with the Teutonic Knight because of how slow it is. So, the fact that they resist conversion means that they're less susceptible monks, which are a traditional deadly counter to slow units. So then, looking at the Bulgarians, they're my favorite of the new civilizations, and you'll see why. Infantry and cavalry civilization. So they both the Teutons and the Bulgarians have infantry and cavalry focuses, which is kind of interesting. And they're also quite defensive-minded too, so they actually have some similar traits, but they're also completely different in a lot of ways. Militia line upgrades are free, so this is the militia line. Militia, men-at-arms, long swordsman, two-handed swordsman. They don't have access to the champion, but it means as soon as they advance to the next age, they'll have the next upgrade available immediately, and that's helpful because, well, you save research time, you also save resources, and it allows you to field an army of infantry right away that you would probably have to tech into otherwise, especially if you're going for cavalry instead of infantry. But town centers cost 50% less stone, and I don't know how much they cost normally for stone. I think it's 100, but basically, especially helpful in Nomad, which is not what this map is, but I have it in the map pool, so it'll probably come up eventually. But town centers you can build extra town centers for less stone. It's helpful. Okay, so you can build a Krepost. The Krepost is like a miniature castle. It has a very similar attack output to the castle, but it's smaller and weaker and costs half the stone. So 350 compared to 650 for the castle. So it's just over half. Sorry. The Conic is probably my favorite of the new unique units. It is Bulgarian unique cavalry unit that fights on as infantry when felled. Strong versus infantry and archers. Weak versus camel riders and monks. So, now the thing is, the Conic is normally weak to pikemen because it is a cavalry unit. But when it dies and becomes an infantry unit, other infantry are strong against pikemen, so their counters kind of flip. And the thing is, they're very difficult to counter. Conics are very difficult to counter because they switch affinities. But I think the Conic is also cool because it's the only unit in the game that wields a flail, which is pretty neat. But the Conic is going to struggle against the Teutonic Knight because the Teutonic Knight is going to do well against both forms because of its melee armor. So that's interesting. So unique. The team bonus is that blacksmiths work 50% faster. So obviously, the conic requires both cavalry and infantry upgrades, and having the blacksmith work 50% faster means that you'll be able to have both upgrades research faster. So your conic is improved faster, and also applies to regular knights and cavaliers as well as the militia line. So unique tech stirrups. Cavalry attack 25% faster. So, this applies to the conic as well. It used to not apply to the knight line. And if we can go back, okay, I really should use the scroll wheel. They used to have paladin before stirrups affected them. But then when they got stirrups, when they were affected by stirrups, they lost access to the paladin. So now they have, well, they have better than average cavaliers, but they're still not as good as paladins. I think Spirit of the Law made a video covering that. I don't think I'll link it in the description if you're interested in that. Bag gains. Militia line gains +5 armor, so obviously that is going to help a lot in battles, and it's kind of comparable to the Teutonic Knight and also the Teutonic melee armor bonus for infantry and cavalry. So, except it's to a more extreme degree to the point that Bulgarian infantry is very strong in melee battles. But I've looked at the tech tree now, so I'm gonna go back to the battle. Okay, so looking at the Teutonic point of view, I'm gonna fast forward like I always do, just to get through all the boring Dark Age stuff. So just kind of, the Bulgarians have the Eastern European architecture, which you haven't seen yet, but the Teutons have the Central European architecture, which has been featured in every single episode of this series thus far. It was with the Huns have it in the first episode, the Goths had it in the second episode, now the Teutons have it. So there's only one Central European civilization left, and that's the Vikings. No, they're technically Northern European, but they have the Central European architecture. So, oh, he's lowering an elephant. See, elephants have a lot of food. Let's see if I can find one that hasn't been killed. Let's see. Are there any around? Anyway, so the Vikings are technically a Northern European civilization, but they have the Central European architecture, which means there's only one left after this, so hopefully we'll get to see other architectures soon. Now, there was actually a tie between the Franks and the Bulgarians, but I was worried about the Franks being picked as the tiebreaker, because it was the Britons versus the Goths last time, and the Franks have the same architecture as the Britons, so it would have been a Central European versus Western European, and that's like the same as last time. And I wanted to show off more architecture because that would have been it's a cool aspect of the game. So I'm glad we get to see more. Just again. All right. Sorry, I don't want to be too close to the mic. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward again. But Alpha Statlin, my friend and subscriber, and I'm also a subscriber of his. Go check him out. He used the tiebreaker on Twitter and chose the Bulgarians, which I'm glad because I like them a lot, and they also have a unique architecture that we haven't seen on this series yet. Well, it's not unique to them, but it is unique to the series thus far. So anyway, so basically just basic economy stuff. I did notice that the Bulgarians, Theodore Svetoslav, that's hard to say, has 3 militia, and when they advance to the feudal age, which hopefully is happening soon, they will turn into men-at-arms right away. So if you remember last time, the Teutons have the same voice lines as the Goths. So we switch to the Bulgarian point of view so I can listen to their... It kind of sounds like Russian. I think it might be derivative of Russian, or at least related. So these militia just kind of patrolling around, and right now Conrad is close to advancing. But he is building a barracks right now, but he doesn't have any military. Oh no! Why did they build them? Why did they hunt it? They're hunting the zebra like very far away from the mill. There's gonna be so much rot. That's not very efficient at all. But oh, the upgrade. Yes, you can see this architecture here. Um, I was thinking if I was managed to mod in the Georgians to HD, which is not this game, but like HD, which is the previous iteration of this game. I was wondering if maybe they could use the Central European architecture, or if I mod them into Definitive Edition, they could use the Central European architecture because it's hard to make new architecture for them. But if we mod them into HD, they can have their own architecture, which I would design. And I have a story about that too. The Age of Empires official Twitter account actually saw my tweet in response to them, talking about how he wanted to make an architecture set for the Georgians and Armenians, and they said they wanted to see that. So I'm going to get working on that at some point. So see, they automatically upgraded. So now this is the new Eastern European architecture. It looked very different in HD. It was more of a copy of the Central and Western European architecture, which made it a little less interesting. I need to take a drink of water, so I'm just gonna... Alright, so Theodore Svetoslav, I'm just gonna call him Red, is building a stable to take advantage of the cavalry aspect of the civilization as well. So they already have a barracks. They're building a stable, presumably to get a head start on cavalry, which is nice. Hold up. And they're building a blacksmith to take advantage of that faster blacksmith research. And I'm sorry if you heard that, but, you know, I get itchy sometimes. I did scratch my ear. But it's my headphones kind of got in the way. But anyway, right now they're still patrolling. Oh, they're fish. That's so inefficient. They could have just built a mill light right there, or something. I don't know. But I'm gonna go back to the blue perspective, see what they're up to. Okay, so it appears that they have two archers and a skirmisher garrisoned in this archer range. Now, I don't think the Teutons are particularly good at archers. See, they don't have arbalister. They do have hand cannoneer, and they don't have thumb ring, but they do have ring archer armor. So compare that to the Bulgarians, who really don't have good archers at all. See, they don't even have crossbowmen. The Bulgarians and the Spanish are the only two civilizations in the game that do not have crossbowmen, which is very historically inaccurate if you think about it, because the Spanish had crossbows and the Aztecs and Mayans did not, but yet the Aztecs and Mayans get crossbows in the game, but the Spanish do not. It's a balancing feature, but it's still pretty historically inaccurate. So back to the Teutons, you see they have crossbowmen but no arbalisters, so they have a slight leg up in archers. The Bulgarians obviously are not going to do well in archers. It's not a very good option for them. You can see they didn't even bother building an archer range because they know it's not their strength. So they're just starting to build farms here. So, wow, they actually have two archer ranges. This one was garrisoned. I don't know when this one was made, but they have a bunch of archers. I would not have thought the Teutons would have gone for archers. So, now I do know who wins this. I'm not going to give it away, obviously. But, Bulgarians are going to research. They're advancing the Castle Age. And, well, they are going to be there long before the Teutons are, I think. So, and, The Teutons, they're raiding though with the range units, so that's interesting. Um, Kind of drove the villagers away from the wood line, which will deny it will deny their wood temporarily. Yeah, har har. Well, whatever. Uh, ooh, that archer got killed by those two men-at-arms. Hold up. Hello, hello. Sorry about that. Whoops, I don't want to quit. Cancel. Okay, so, all right. So right now they're still patrolling. I don't think they know what to do. Oh, they're building a tower. It's a defensive tower. But again, the Teutons actually have better towers. So now the, like I said, infantry aren't very good against archers. So they're gonna get wrecked here because infantry tend to be really slow. Now, obviously, the Huskarls in the previous episode are a they're an exception, an extreme exception. Ooh, advanced. You can see it's kind of spooky looking, which is perfect for my YouTube channel. I actually used the one of the civilizations with this architecture in my channel intro, which will be in this video, so you'll be able to see that. Um, Now, the reason that's not in widescreen is I used a different computer, which doesn't have widescreen, doesn't have full screen. It's just a square ratio, so that's why it has those. Oh, building another town center. They're using that um, bonus where it costs 50% less, so that's interesting. So, scout. Oh, oh wow, they are really raiding with all these archers. But the thing is, ranged units are not good against buildings, so uh, it's not a cost-effective exchange here. This is going to take a very long time. Oh, they have knights. See, they advanced the castle age first, so they have knights out already. So, the thing is, a lone knight isn't going to be very effective against ranged units, but a lot of knights are going to, even a small number of knights will be very effective against ranged units because of their high pierce armor. What's going on up here? Oh, they're garrisoning. That archer will die, and good job on them. The gold miners garrisoned in this tower to protect themselves and, kill off that archer. But now they're being attacked again. I don't know where their wood line moved to. I'll have to figure that out. It appears that they're mainly gathering wood from here with this town center. Ooh. See, now if the Teutons want, now the Teutons have researched Castle Age. They're on the way. They're on their way right now. Almost about halfway through. But the thing is, if the Teutons wanted to do a tower rush, they could do it much better than the Bulgarians. But the Bulgarians also have the Krepos, which is basically a castle with, it's a half. It's basically like a half castle. It's has very similar damage output, like I mentioned, but it is only has half the cost and half the health. So it's a bit of a trade-off, but you can actually just kind of spam them. It's a very difficult to counter strategy if you do it right. So they might be about evenly matched defensively anyway. Well, at least in the Castle Age, because Teutons do have crenellations, which means their castles will outrange Kreposts, which gives them an advantage. Okay, so now you see this architecture, which I'm sure you've grown tired of seeing this architecture by now because that's very common. They build a stable to take advantage of that cavalry bonus, building a second town center against this wood line, presumably to do the same strategy the Bulgarians did. Okay, so, ooh, here we go. Now, skirmishers have a lot of pierce armor, so you see this skirmisher is taking a very long time to go down. Now, archers, in comparison, do not have a lot of pierce armor. See, this is taking a while to go down, even with the extra arrows. Yep. See, it takes only does one damage per hit per arrow shot. So you can see it's going down rather slowly. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, they're building pikemen because I think they saw the knights, and building a siege workshop, which I think is another thing the Teutons excel at. Teutons are kind of a jack of all trades civilization. They have very flexible civilization, which I think is why they're so popular. But building a mangonel. They're still hunting animals, which is a little odd, but they have a bunch of pikemen and some skirmishers, and presumably they're going to try to form a small army to deal with the what the Bulgarians are sending at them. But I don't know why they don't just well, actually, archers and skirmishers are both effective against. Skirmishers aren't effective against regular infantry, but I think archers are effective against regular infantry, as I mentioned. But skirmishers, I think, are only good against pikemen because of a bonus. But so this is they do have army composite. They do have things available to them that could counter what the Bulgarians are throwing out. They build a monastery, and I'm not going to mention what this is based on because I already mentioned that in previous episodes. The two previous episodes, actually. So I'm not going to mention that again. Let's see. Are they planning on building a castle? They have two mangonels right now. So, oh, this monk is collecting this relic. So, you'll probably get to see the Lithuanians. Oh no! I think this monk was also going to collect that relic. See, it's going back now. Where's it? Oh, it's going over here to collect this relic. I think it was going for that one, but the other monk got it, so it's a bit unfortunate. You snooze, you lose, as they say. I just think it's so cool that the baobab trees are in this game. They provide extra wood than usual, 200, as opposed to normal trees 100, and acacia trees 150. But you see, acacia trees 150. But yeah, so there we go. So I actually have a small trees mod on, which is why these trees look so small. Oh, he's finally building a mill. Okay, he's actually building a farm against that mill. So let's see. Does he have? Is he planning on building any castles? I don't know, but he does have one villager on stone. Just one singular villager on stone. Yeah. So no, I'm sorry. That's not gonna work out well. Okay, you can't get constant stone output, or you can't get consistent output or constant output of any resource with only one villager collecting from it. You need at least 10 to for the more common resources like wood and food. You need at least 10. Now you can probably get away with fewer than that for gold and stone, or especially stone because it's not used very often, but for gold you probably should have at least 10. I found that I can generally get away with 5 or 6 stone miners, but generally having fewer than that. Oh, his monk is trying to collect or convert the knight, and oh no. And then the pikemen are going to drive these knights away, which is why the pikemen exist. They are a counter, very effective counter against cavalry. Knight rush is a very popular strategy among among many players because there are only 4 civilizations that don't have access to knights: the Aztecs, Mayans, Incas, and Indians. The Indians are the only civilization with access to cavalry but not knights, so they're a bit unusual. And we'll probably see them later on in the series. I mean, we will see them later on in the series, but only time will tell how soon, how later on in the series. Oh, Conrad is researching the Imperial Age. But is this going to be enough to stop the Bulgarian push? Because he does have a lot of knights. Let's see, how many stables does he have? 1, 2. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, they're making a push. Oh, the pikemen are going. Oh dear, this isn't gonna end well. Pikemen are going towards the knights here. So, okay, they didn't. It's more of a defensive position rather than an offensive one. Also, mangonels are very good against archers, but obviously it doesn't matter here because the Bulgarians don't have any archers. Oh dear. Oof. And that villager's gonna die. Oh, or not. Well, that was surprising. Villager does make it home to his wife. Well, assuming he has one. And, probably doesn't have a kid, but he is severely injured. So, oh, here we go. Here's a good engagement. Alright. Alright. Now let's... Teutons have knights of their own now, so... Oh dear, this isn't going well for the Teutons. I don't think they have... It... Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, it's just... Bulgarian cavalry is quite strong. I don't know if they have stirrups, but they have... It's quite strong. So... Yikes. And they are trying to build a stable here, but I think it might get denied. But the knights are distracted, so it might not get denied. And I think they're gonna walk away. There's a lot of lag. I don't know why that is. Also, the Bulgarians are building a barracks right next to the Teuton stable, which is pretty funny. So now, Bulgarians themselves are advancing to the Imperial Age. Are we going to see their unique unit? I hope so. They don't have any Krepos. Why are they building archery range? They don't get good archers. It's just a waste of resources. Maybe they're building skirmishers, but they could always just go knights because knights are effective against skirmishers, and that's the Bulgarian specialty. It's knights. Knights and infantry, but knights are effective in this case. So I don't know why they're building an archery range because skirmishers are only one of several counters to archers. So the computer makes a lot of strange decisions sometimes. I don't know if you saw, but that knight did get converted, and it's getting constantly healed by this monk, so even though it has less HP, it's going to win, I think. Yeah, it's going to win. Also, that tower's on its side, too, so... Alright. I must admit, even though I have German blood in me, and I like the Teutons a whole lot, I just like the Bulgarians more, so I'm not sure which side I'm rooting for. The side which I have blood in, or the side which I just enjoy the gameplay of more. Oh, the pikeman battle. I don't know why that's going on. Oh, okay, so Bulgarians are almost to the Imperial Age here. They're just about to reach the Imperial Age. These farmers are just peacefully farming. And there we go. They're in the Imperial Age now. Okay, so... Oh, yeah, that's... Oh, right. Oh, right, that was the Teutons. They advanced to the... Upgrade the pikemen to halberdier. Do the Bulgarians get pikemen? Or halberdier? They get pikemen, obviously, but I don't know if they get halberdier. Let me check. I think they do. Yeah, they do. Okay. Alright, so... They're going to be upgrading to halberdier eventually. Let me see. I can't tell. They're probably going to be upgrading to halberdier eventually once they're done actually producing. Yeah, oh yeah, they upgrade. Okay, that was a bit of a surprise, but they upgrade, so now it's just a bunch of halberdiers fighting other halberdiers, which, okay, I mean, that doesn't happen very often. But, wow, there's a lot of red. This is actually pretty interesting. Oh, now they have a castle. Are we going to see any Teutonic Knights? I don't know if we will. I don't know if we're going to see. That's weird. Huh. That's weird. Anyway, I was checking out the voice lines there. Some of them are correct and some of them aren't. You can see the long swordsman upgrade the two-handed swordsman. So, they're attacking the battered ram. I don't know if they researched ironclad, but... Ooh! They were attacking the archery range that the Bulgarians were mysteriously building. I don't know why they were building it, but... The castle is defending. Alright. This is interesting. There's quite a bit of pushing and shoving going on here. Okay, so, and they will get the edge. The Bulgarians will get the edge because their cavalry is quite strong. Or, their infantry is quite strong. Their cavalry is strong too, but I'm talking about the infantry in this case. And it's hard to tell. Gains +5 armor. That's Pierce armor, so let me check. They have not researched bag gains yet, so I don't know if they're going to be doing that. Do they even have a castle? They do have a castle. Are they going to be producing conics? I don't know. I just think conics are really cool. It'd be disappointing if they don't end up producing them. Yikes. Now, yikes. Now, the Teutons have paladins, which the Bulgarians do not, so they have a better knight line. If you don't include the fact that paladin actually attacks slower than the cavalier, and the cavalier from the Bulgarians actually already attacks faster because of stirrups. But that barracks gets denied. So, wow, they're collecting a significant force here. This is a battleground right here. This one wood line here is basically become where the majority of the battles are taking place. This trebuchet is targeting houses for some reason. I am not sure why. This castle is doing its best to defend this large horde of Bulgarian units, and I think they're about to lose. The Teutons are. Now the AI never uses any of the gimmicks that wow, that's really annoying. Never uses any of the gimmicks that the civilizations actually have, but I think it's still interesting to see them fight. Now the infantry is attacking the villagers, and I think, wow. Now I think they're going to call GG very soon because there's really not much they can do at this point. They're getting attacked from all sides, pretty much. They're being attacked on multiple fronts. That castle will go down, and it goes down. Beautiful collapse animation right there. Yeah, there's nothing they can do about this. The Teutons don't usually lose games, but if they use their Teutonic Knight, they might have actually had a chance. Because archers are the counter Teutonic Knights, and Bulgarians don't have archers. And the things that they actually specialize in are countered very well by the Teutonic Knight. So, if the Teutons had been using Teutonic Knights, they would have won, probably. They probably would have been able to win. That's getting very annoying. Gaia. Yeah, so now I have it set to Gaia, so... But I'm still getting that. It's really annoying. Yeah, but now these are siege rams. So these buildings are just going down. Well, town center is being attacked. Or town center is being attacked, and the units that were attacking the town center were having arrows shot at them. But it will go down because this trebuchet is, and now all the villagers are ejected from it. So now they're just going after villagers. There's really not much they can do at this point. The game's basically over. The wave of thinking finally stopped here, so slowed down at least. So see, just look at this massive. Whoa! Look at all this red. This is a ton of red just invading all this blue. It's like bloody water. But I don't know why my brain immediately went to that. But this monk is doing God's work. Well, so to speak. It is converting people, so I guess you could say that. But this monk is doing a lot of work, converting units, and being very helpful in general with healing. So yeah, this it's not going well, and it's doing the whole stream of things again. And wow, That's a lot of units. Now they have specialty in melee armor, not pure armor. Now they got the +5 melee armor, so they're going to be a lot more effective in combat. So you can just hear these Brams just attacking everywhere. Wow. So this is horrific. This is Yep, and he resigns. That wasn't as one-sided as last game, but it was still pretty one-sided. They're building another town center there, but didn't get very far before they resigned. So, like I said, wait, if they had used, they didn't have a lot of resources there, not very much gold. If they had used Teutonic Knights, there probably wouldn't have been much that the Bulgarians would have been able to do because the Bulgarians specialize in melee units, and the Teutonic Knight specializes in fighting melee units. And because, like I mentioned, the Bulgarians don't have good archers, the Teutonic Knight's main counter would not be present or severely limited. So, if the AI had thought more about using Teutonic Knights, their unique unit, rather than just regular knights, or just regular units, the AI always seems to use regular units rather than unique units, which tend to be specialized, and that's why they're unique. But they tend to be specialized for one specific purpose or just general use. They tend to be better. They either tend to be specialized in one to deal with one thing, like Huskarls with archers, or they're just a statistically superior version of a regular unit. That tends to be the way unique units go. The Teutonic Knight is statistically better than regular swordsman except for its speed, and it also specializes in killing other melee units. So it is one of the strongest unique units in the game, but it isn't one of the best because it is easy to hit and run. And if we ever see the Mayans in one of these upcoming battles, the Mayans are considered to be one of the strongest civilizations in the game, and that is in part due to their unique unit. So I'm going to go to the stats. Let me just make sure I am still recording. That would be embarrassing. Okay, I am still recording, which is good. I don't want to do this all over again. So Conrad only had 42 military. Theodore had 109. So big numbers advantage right there. That's probably part of the problem. Economy, Theodore was better in every way. So technology. Now Conrad did advance to the feudal and imperial ages faster than Theodore, but Theodore advanced to the Castle Age sooner. And the Castle Age is generally when things heat up, and a lot of games don't tend to last past Castle Age, especially among high-level players. So advancing the Castle Age sooner is very important. And Theodore also researched more technologies. And map exploration isn't that important, especially since they're so similar in numbers. Society, Theodore had more relics, same number of castles. Didn't get to see any Krepos, unfortunately, or Conics. I was a little disappointed by that. But maybe I'll be able to see them in a future video. Timeline. Whoa, okay, that's a pretty interesting timeline. It goes real straight and then kind of dips up, peaks, slopes up a little bit, dips down, slopes up gradually, and then there's this huge spike. And while the that was their villager number, but their military number also followed the same trend, while Conrad's military mostly stayed pretty stagnant in numbers. So that was part of their problem. They just weren't expanding. They weren't doing very much. They were booming without actually making a military, and that is not good. So that was the Teutons versus Bulgarians. Leave a like if you like that, and subscribe if you want to. And comment if you enjoyed the video, and tell me what your favorite part was. I haven't gotten any comments in the recent ones, so I really wish you'd comment. If you made it this far, comment Conic. Konnik. Actually, no. If you made it this far, type horseman in a comic. In a not comic. Comment. Type horseman in a comment if you made it to this part. So I'll know that you watched to the end. So I will see you later and peace.